My sister showed up to my wedding in a white dress, and my parents defended her. I, 27F, got married last weekend, and what should have been the happiest day of my life turned into a circus thanks to my older sister, 31F, aka the golden child. We've always had a rocky relationship. She was the favorite, the high achiever, the one who could do no wrong. I was the emotional one or the sensitive one. Whatever. My wedding was relatively small and intimate. I worked hard on every detail, paid for most of it myself, and was honestly just excited to have my moment. I even had a no-white dress code in the invitations, just to avoid any confusion or drama. Guess who shows up 15 minutes late in a freaking floor-length white gown with rhinestones? You guessed it. My sister. Heads turned. My MIL gave me a look like, is this a joke? But I kept my cool and focused on my husband and our vows. During the reception, people started whispering. A couple of friends asked if she was trying to upstage me. My new husband actually asked me if I wanted to ask her to leave. I didn't want to cause more drama in the moment. But the next day, I texted her saying how inappropriate and hurtful it was. Her response? It's just a dress. I don't know why you're making this about you. Then my mom called me saying I was overreacting, that my sister didn't mean anything by it, and that I should apologize for making a scene. I didn't even make a scene. I stayed calm the whole day. But now my parents are icing me out because I ruined the family vibe after the wedding. I don't know, Reddit. I just needed to vent. I feel so disrespected, and I'm starting to wonder if this is the final straw in a lifetime of being treated like I don't matter. Thanks for reading. Update. My sister wore white to my wedding. My parents defended her. Here's what happened next. Hi again, Reddit. I wasn't expecting the response to blow up like that. Thank you to everyone who commented, validated me, or even just shared your own stories. It really meant a lot. So, here's what's happened since my post. After my mom called and told me to apologize, yes, seriously, I decided I needed to put some distance between myself and the family. I didn't answer a few follow-up texts from her and my dad, and I took a few days to decompress and enjoy being married without the stress. Then my sister texted me again. It was a full-blown guilt trip. I was just trying to look nice for your big day, and it's so sad that you're letting a dress ruin our relationship. No apology, just deflection. I finally sent a long message. I calmly, but firmly, told her that this wasn't just about the dress. It was about years of boundary pushing, favoritism, and never taking accountability. I told her I needed space, and that unless she could sincerely apologize and take responsibility, I wasn't interested in pretending everything was fine. She left me on read. Then the real kicker. My parents invited her and her boyfriend over for a family dinner this weekend, and didn't invite me and my husband. When I asked why, my mom said, "We didn't want any more tension. You two clearly need time apart." Translation: we're taking her side. Again. So yeah, I'm taking space. Real space. I love my parents, but I'm not going to keep contorting myself to be the easy daughter just so they can keep enabling her behavior. My husband's been amazing. His family has basically adopted me at this point, and honestly, it feels good to be around people who don't make me feel like I'm asking for too much by expecting basic respect. Thanks again for listening. I don't know if there'll be a second update, but if there is, you'll be the first to know. Update 2. Sister wore white to my wedding, parents defended her. I finally stood my ground. Hi, Reddit. Back with another update I didn't think I'd be making. So, after I decided to distance myself, things were quiet for a couple of weeks. No texts, no calls, just radio silence from my family, which honestly gave me time to breathe. Then last weekend, I got a call from an unknown number. I ignored it. 10 minutes later, a text popped up. "I'm outside. Can we talk?" It was my sister. At my house. My husband wasn't home, and I seriously debated not opening the door. But I did. She stood there holding some kind of gift bag and looking weirdly nervous. She said she wanted to apologize. And she kind of did, but in the most half-baked way imaginable. Something along the lines of, "I'm sorry you felt hurt. I didn't realize the dress would cause such drama. I thought you'd be over it by now." So yeah, not an actual apology. Just a performance. I asked her flat out, "Would you ever wear white to one of your friends' weddings?" She paused, then said, "No, but I'm your sister." I didn't think the same rules applied. That was the moment I realized. She genuinely doesn't see me as someone who deserves the same respect she gives to people outside the family. That sentence has been echoing in my head for days. I told her I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. I don't hate her. I just don't trust her. And I don't have the energy to keep being the forgiving one. She left without saying much else. The bag she brought? It had a candle and a $25 Target gift card. I'm not kidding. Then my mom called that night. Guess who had already told her I was cold and wouldn't accept her apology? Yup. I calmly told my mom I was going no contact for a while, that I hoped one day we could all talk again, but not until everyone stopped acting like I'm the villain for having feelings. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Sad? Yes. But also free. I've started therapy. First session was actually yesterday, and I'm focusing on my marriage, my peace, and the people who show up for me without conditions. Thanks again for sticking with me through this. Reddit's been more of a family than my own lately. If anything else happens, you'll hear about it. Update 3. My sister wore white to my wedding. My parents defended her. Now she's getting married. Hey again, Reddit. I didn't think I'd be posting again, but here we are. So, surprise. My sister is engaged. She announced it 2 weeks ago on Instagram with a big photo dump. The ring, the fiancé, same guy she brought to my wedding. I said yes. Balloon. Typical influencer vibes. What caught my eye, though? She tagged me in it. We haven't spoken since the Target gift card incident. I didn't respond. I didn't comment. I didn't like the post. A few hours later, I got a DM from her saying, "I really want you to be part of this. Let's not drag old drama into something new." Deep breath. I didn't respond right away, but I sat with it for a while. Part of me wanted to scream. Part of me wanted to show up to her wedding in white. And part of me just felt tired. I ended up writing her a very calm, direct message. I told her I appreciated the invitation, but I wasn't ready to rejoin a dynamic that never acknowledged the hurt I experienced. I said I wasn't angry, just protecting my peace. I wished her well. She left me on scene. Then the phone calls started. My mom, my dad, even a cousin, all saying this is a time to come together. She's trying to extend an olive branch. Don't make this about the past. Funny how no one said that when I was the one hurting. Here's what I didn't tell them. I'm not going to her wedding, not out of spite, but because I finally, fully accept that this family only sees me when I'm silent, agreeable, or useful. And I'm not playing that role anymore. My husband and I are planning a little weekend getaway for the same date as her wedding. Somewhere quiet, peaceful, just us. I won't lie, it still stings. This is my sister. I wanted us to have a relationship, but I've realized you can love someone and still choose not to let them into your life, especially when every door they open comes with a price tag you didn't agree to. Anyway, maybe this is the final update. Maybe not. Life's messy like that. Thanks, Reddit. You helped me stay sane when my own family didn't. Update 4. My sister wore white to my wedding. My parents defended her, and then came her wedding day. Hey, Reddit. It's me again. I wasn't planning to post another update, but something happened, and it's honestly still sinking in. So, as I said in the last post, my husband and I planned a quiet weekend getaway during my sister's wedding. We went to a cabin by a lake. No phones, no internet, just us. I didn't want the noise. I didn't want the guilt texts. I just wanted peace. When we got back on Monday, I turned my phone on and was immediately flooded with messages. Missed calls from my mom, a long text from my dad, and about a dozen DMs from mutual friends. Apparently, my sister's wedding did not go as planned. About an hour before the ceremony, there was a massive blow-up between her and the groom. According to a friend who was actually there, it started because the groom's sister confronted my sister over how she treats people. Apparently, she didn't like the way my sister had been talking to the bridal party and vendors all day. The groom overheard part of it and something snapped. There was yelling. He walked out, The ceremony was delayed for almost an hour, and when he came back, he told her he couldn't do it. They didn't get married. I'm not going to pretend I was gleeful, but I also won't lie. I felt a strange mix of sadness, relief, and clarity. Later that night, my mom left me a voicemail. She was crying. She said everything was falling apart, that she missed me, that maybe she and my dad should have listened more. It's the first time she's even come close to admitting fault. I haven't called her back yet. I'm still sorting through how I feel. There's part of me that feels vindicated, but there's also grief. Grief for the relationship I wish I had with my family. Grief for the sister I never really got to have. Grief that the validation I craved had to come at the cost of something so painful. My therapist said something that stuck with me. You didn't win. You just finally stopped losing. So for now, I'm keeping my distance. Still building a life I love. Still choosing peace over performance. Thanks again, Reddit, for holding space for me when I needed it most. This might really be the last update, but you never know. Final update. My sister wore white to my wedding. My parents defended her. Now I'm finally done. Hi, Reddit. This will be my last update. A lot has happened since the wedding that wasn't, and I think it's time to close the chapter for real. It's been almost 6 months since my sister's wedding imploded. The fallout was exactly what you'd expect. She went silent. My parents were a mess, trying to play neutral, throwing pity parties, then switching to guilt mode when I didn't rush in to comfort everyone. But I didn't cave. And for the first time in my life, that choice didn't feel like defiance. Felt like freedom. A few weeks ago, I had lunch with my mom. She asked to meet just the two of us. I went mostly out of curiosity. She looked older, tired, humbled in a way I hadn't seen before. She didn't offer a dramatic apology. There was no emotional monologue. But she did say, I think I was more worried about keeping the peace than actually making peace. And I see now that it cost me you. It wasn't everything I wanted to hear, but it was enough. Enough to know she's maybe beginning to understand. As for my sister, no contact. Still. And at this point, I'm okay with that. I've built a good life. A quiet, steady, joy-filled life. My husband and I are stronger than ever. I started painting again. I sleep better. I don't flinch when my phone rings. I even hosted a small Friendsgiving this year, no drama, just laughter and way too much pie. I used to think family was something you had to cling to no matter what. That keeping the peace meant swallowing your pain and playing nice. But now I know, you can love people from afar. You can wish them well and still walk away. And that isn't cold. That's healing. To everyone who followed this journey, thank you. For your comments, your empathy, your honesty. You helped me feel seen when my own family couldn't. Truly, I'm closing this door now, and I won't be looking back. Wishing all of you peace, boundaries, and the courage to protect them. Thank you for stepping into another tale with me. Every story unlocks a different world, and I'm glad you were here for the journey. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my stories Unchained, where every ending is just the beginning of another adventure. Until next time, keep your mind open and your heart ready for the next story, Unchained.